Today I want to talk to you about, my title was 3 Ways to Reduce Stress, and I realized on my way over here that really isn't correct. What I'm going to talk to you today about is 3 steps to reducing stress. First of all, I want to describe what stress is, and then I'm going to talk to you about relationships. Then we'll get to these steps to reduce stress. Relationship. What's the most important relationship that you have in your entire life? My daughter.
Yourself.
Exactly. 365 days a year, 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, you're in relationship with you. You're the only one who's there all the time. When the relationship with you is not good, your relationship with everything is not good. So when you've got conflict between yourself, creates a lot of stress. One of the things that is very beneficial is to work on the relationship with ourselves so that we can be happy and have less stress in our lives. The 3 kinds of stress that are out there are avoidance stress. That's where you have 2 things that you don't want to do. That's where your head's saying, I don't want to do this, and your heart's saying, I don't want to do this. In that case, you don't have internal conflict. You've got an alignment within yourself, and yet you still got stress because you're forced to do something that you really don't want to do, or you feel forced. No one's forced to do anything. It's all a choice. The second kind of stress is approach avoidance stress, which is where you have something that you want to do and something that you don't want to do. That's where your heart is saying, let's go do this. And something from outside is saying, you need to go do this. And you want to do what your heart says, but you've also got something from the external that's saying, this is more appropriate. This creates a lot of misalignment because you've got yourself going in 2 different directions. The third kind of stress is approach, which is you've got 2 things that you want to do. Both of them are exciting. Both of them you're really drawn to. This is the best kind of stress you can have, because either way you win from your point of view. As I said, the 3 kinds of stress, 2 of them create internal conflict. Internal conflict is the biggest stress in anyone's life. And that's where you've got outside expectations that are saying, this is how things should be. And you've got your internal desires, what your heart wants, saying, this is what I want my life to be like, whatever circumstance that might be. So when you've got this misalignment, you've got extreme stress, because you're going back and forth. And until you make that decision, you feel pulled apart. So the reduction of stress actually brings these in alignment, so that your head, your heart, your internal desires are being expressed, and to the best of your ability, you are matching outside expectations, as I said, to the best of your ability. reducing stress are, the first one, recognize your rules. Every one of us lives by rules, either given to us from external sources or created internally by us. What is beneficial is to recognize what these rules are. A lot of us go through life and we don't even know what our own rules are. We just say, this is the way it has to be. We don't recognize that that's a rule that we created for ourselves. Whether it came from external or internal, we created it for ourselves because the second part of it is to clearly define your rule. If you don't know what the definition of your rule is, you don't have a way to really fulfill it. When you are going through life, one of my rules as a child was that I had to be what whoever else I was interacting with said I had to be. The only thing was, half the time, I didn't even know what they wanted me to be. I was guessing. So I had no clearly defined rule of who I was. The third is, once you've clearly defined your rules, then you get to go through and pick and choose which ones actually work for you. If the rule that you've clearly defined is not something that works for you, you get to throw it away. Or change it so that it does work for you. This is actually the step that helps you create the alignment between your head, your heart, and external influences. Once you have that alignment, your stress is reduced significantly. And what I recommend everyone do, first step, just start recognizing. One of the key things that I've seen is when people start saying, you have to do this, when they're actually talking about themselves. You have to do business this way, when they're really saying, I have to do business this way. That's my rule. Thank you.